Yo, what's good guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we're reacting to the shark tier list. We're gonna see the most dangerous sharks to the least most dangerous sharks. Yeah, if you're new here, don't forget to like and subscribe and recommend me more videos to react to. And yeah, let's watch. They look all ugly though, that's for sure. My goodness.
Innovations made by players have been the main driving force behind the biggest meta shifts in the entire history of the game, and today I want to highlight one of the most important, the implementation of the move Bite. There's actually a fair bit of debate on which guilds can take credit for pioneering this move, but there's no question that one of the first to really perfect it, to the point of being meta-defining, were none other than the Sharks. And since then, they've been holding on to that top spot tighter than Ice Climber players hold onto a wobbling victim. They've been extremely relevant in every expansion since the Silurian, something very few guilds can claim. So today I'll go over the tier list of the Sharks, and highlight the main attributes and abilities which have made them such fearsome builds. Overall, Sharks are at a pretty good spot in the meta, averaging around B tier. The main benefits of playing a Shark build include high mobility, high damage, and most importantly, the ability to sense any player near you due to special abilities like Blood Sense and Electroreception.
Ooh.
Main drawbacks include lacking Swim Bladder, an ability which allows the user to control their buoyancy at will, and also lacking Gill Flaps. Gill Flaps passively regenerate stamina.
This kind of feels like a game. This is kind of cool though. You know, I feel like sharks are like the scary. Everybody is always like, yo, there's a scary animal, but I feel like it's sharks to me, because the bite is just so like, it's crazy, bro. Like, and I feel like their sharks aren't overpowered. It's like it's a balance, because if they had legs and could walk on land, that would have been overpowered, and that would be more scarier. But since they're in the water, it's just scary, because anything that can't really swim, you can't fight underwater. So that's why, like, I feel like the S tier shark must be like a demon,
And
something that like doesn't even show up.
Fish, so sharks can only regenerate stamina if they're moving. Now let's talk about individual shark builds. As always, we'll start from the bottom
That's
of
a
the tier
pro
list
though.
and work
That's
our way
cool.
up. In bottom tier, we have nothing. There are genuinely no shark builds that could justify as being bottom tier. Most sharks don't deviate too far from the base shark concept, which is good because it's a great guide for success. With that said, not all sharks are created equal, and in D tier we have two builds which don't really capitalize on any of the benefits of the shark class. First is the Nurse Shark. Low mobility, sedentary playstyle, and a really weak bite. Instead of abusing the powerful kit available for shark classes, Nurse Sharks rummage around the ocean floor looking for easy XP. However, they do have the strongest suction force of any fish, and since they don't have many terrible matchups, they're definitely no F tier.
Bro, suction does not matter, bro. This shark, bro, if I was you, bro, I'd be crying too, man. Cause, bro, you have the weakest. Like, all you could do is suck. Like, okay, like, sucking isn't really cool. Like, yeah, this shark, bro, that's a big L for you, buddy. Damn, you're not even a shark, bro. Other sharks probably make fun of this guy.
Saw shark players, what are you doing? Teeth are some of the best weapons in the game, and the only drawback to using them is that breaking them can ruin your playthrough. But sharks have replaceable teeth, so that weakness is completely nullified. So
that is
why
so
do you opt
cool
for this goofy, cumbersome, impractical weapon setup? Swinging that thing around uses way too much stamina for what it nets you, and isn't very useful for defending yourself. Whatever, you do you, I guess.
Damn.
In C tier,
This shark is hideous. He even made fun of it himself. My goodness, bro. It just has a huge nose. Or whatever. A huge sword. Bro, you're not the swordfish. You feel me? Like, man, I feel bad bullying these sharks.
They'd rather AFK their entire game instead of making use of the best tools available to sharks.
I'd rather AFK
this
the
includes
game
the basking
too,
shark, whale shark, and any other shark who thought filter feeding was a better idea than being a swimming doom machine. Yes, it may be easy if you make it to the late game, but without good weapons and low mobility, the majority of your playthrough is a huge risk, with mobile fish players like the marlin and sailfish having no problem taking you out.
Ooh.
Now we're in
Sailfish
and
is
we're
scary,
almost to the shark builds who know how sharks are meant to be played. Almost.
Okay.
But first, we've got two more unorthodox builds. Some of my personal favorites, actually. The first is a shark who decided that, despite being one of the smallest of its kind, it would attack the largest builds in the game. The Cookie Cutter Shark.
What?
Cookie Cutter Sharks
Cookie.
are unorthodox in that instead of going for the predator playstyle, they function as a parasite. They simply latch onto a whale or other massive player, and by twisting themselves back and forth, they steal a cookie-shaped bite right off. This doesn't do much damage to players, but interestingly, this build was a secret among the Shark Guild up until a few Cookie Cutter players accidentally attacked human submarines and actually caused their sonar to malfunction. This was during the Cold War, so the Russians and Americans assumed that the other was somehow sabotaging their submarines, until eventually a Soviet sub surfaced with a Shark player still latched on. In B+2 we have
Ooh. Okay, like I was about to make fun of them, but these sharks aren't bad, you know? Parasite, being the parasite, it's like you're the op to like every shark. These are like the biggest ops because no one's gonna bother like come eat you. Like you're that small, you won't feed them a lot. But like a huge bite like that, I'd be mad too if someone just lashed on my skin and took a huge bite. And these sharks are dumb too. They don't even notice that they ate them. Like I'd definitely notice if I had a piece of like a hole in my skin or somewhere in my body, on my body. Yeah, but these sharks are pretty cool. I give them that.
a shark which
Smart.
uses one of the only AoE stun moves seen in the entire game, the Thresher Shark. Attacking a
Thresher.
school of fish is difficult, and due to their advanced evasion and diversion tactics, you have to be fast, lucky, or clever in order to even catch a single fish. That is,
Ooh.
unless you can hit them with a flashbang, which is essentially what Thresher Sharks do. Thresher Sharks have tails as long as the rest of their body, and they use them as a whip, creating shockwaves which stun small groups of fish, negating their normally excellent evasion abilities. They do all of this without deviating too far from the great base stats of the shark build, so they retain decent.
This shark, I'm glad this shark wasn't like a human because it's not even. No, like I was thinking about like slavery when they brought up when the shark was just whipping the other fish. I feel like this is the slave master of the sea. Yeah, this shark looks crazy. Interesting build though. Like why did he get a whip? Like could have had anything else, buddy. This shark.
Mobility and
You might
attack
have just
power
seen our
while
first
using
racist
weapons.
shark.
In A tier, we finally get to those famous core shark builds everyone knows, loves, and fears. It's hard to rank these in relation to each other because they're all just so darn great. We'll start with the Tiger Sharks. Tiger Sharks have higher stealth than most of the well-known shark builds, and also have uniquely shaped teeth that make them more effective at cutting through armor and bone. Similar to actual tigers, the main strategy of a tiger shark is to get close to its target with stealth, and then use a quick burst of speed to snatch it before it can react. On the opposite end of the spectrum from this strategy, we have the Mako Shark, which has the highest
Mako?
mobility of all the sharks, and uses this to chase down its targets. This playstyle requires a lot of
Ooh,
stamina.
that's
so this
Mr.
build
Run You
breaks the mold
Down,
and opts
okay.
for warm blood instead of being cold-blooded like most other fish. This gives the Mako Shark the benefits of fast stamina regeneration, allowing it to keep up a pursuit longer than most other hunters. Since the speed comes at a cost to size,
Ooh.
it doesn't quite have the monstrous weight advantage over its targets, and so Mako players need to be careful and not get too greedy. The ocean's other premier speed demons, the Swordfish and Marlin, can be tough matchups for them. At the top of A tier, we
Bro,
have-
that swordfish is just like, I feel like you could probably call it a demon. Go ahead and call it a demon. You have a whole sword and you're fast. Like, what else? You're like that Jason dude that be chasing people, but like you're faster and you always have a sword. I wonder like if that jump like breaks, because imagine you go fast enough, you point, I don't know, there's no walls in the sea, never mind, that won't work. Just imagine it just breaks the sword. I feel like just break the sword, that's all. I wonder if like those things grow back, because I would imagine these swordfish laughing at some other swordfish that broke his sword because he was dumb enough to break it in the water. But swordfish, I wonder like, because I just want to know the biggest predator in the ocean. Because I mean, if it's not the swordfish, is just, if it was a bit bigger, I mean, and it kept the same speed or like faster, it would have been a real problem.
Bull shark, which has
Definitely.
two unique and powerful abilities. The first is that they have the highest bite force of any shark, meaning that even though they have pretty
Really?
average teeth in terms of slicing and cutting utility, they can still deliver an extremely potent bite. The second ability is that bull sharks can enter freshwater servers without receiving the energy sapping and damaging debuff that obligate saltwater builds do. This allows them to travel into rivers and streams where they have no real competition. This makes bull sharks the best build for griefing low-level players. And judging by the bull shark's reputation for being the most aggressive shark, it's clear that this is exactly the type of player that this build attracts. And here we are, the head honchos of the shark build.
Oh, so this
There's
thing
two
will
builds
catch
here
you
that
lacking in
occupy the
water.
low S tier, and honestly I can't place one above the other, they're both just awesome. What makes them so excellent is how well they use their tracking abilities, blood sense, and electroreception. The great white shark is no doubt the most feared ocean build in the current meta, and the closest thing to the god tier megalodon still in existence. They pretty much just take everything that makes sharks so strong and push all of those things to their limit. They don't have as high bite damage as the tiger or bull shark, but the force of a great white's charge attack slamming into their target more than makes up for it, and usually takes the stock no problem. Hunting seal players is difficult because they're clever and try to avoid putting themselves at risk when they don't need to. This is why the great white's ability to see above water is so crucial, because they can see which islands and reefs their targets are hiding on and camp them out.
I
Their
thought
blood
they were
sense ability is
colorblind.
through the roof, and their electroreception ability is quite polished as well, but nowhere near to the extent of the last build on my list, the Hammerhead. Now, if
Oh,
you aren't a
whoa,
Hammerhead,
whoa. Hold on. Personally, I thought whenever I heard shark, I usually thought of that great white thing. That's all I thought about, because it feels like it should be the ideal shark. I don't know why he brought up hammerhead shark, because like I thought those were just like some goofy heads, because like, bro, you have a hammerhead. Like, what's impressive about you?
player, I'm
Let's
willing
see
to
them.
bet that when you look at this build, you think the player fell asleep during character creation and accidentally
Right.
set eye width to the max.
The
But if
sloth
you think this
dude
option
from
is
Ice
purely
Age.
aesthetic and not intentional, you couldn't be more wrong. Hammerheads have the best, most well-optimized sensory abilities in the game. They have full panoramic vision and have binocular eyesight ahead and behind them, which gives them a massive accuracy bonus on the attack and a huge evasion bonus if they're being chased. With the chemo and electroreceptors on the front of their face, they essentially have 3D smell and 3D electroreception, putting their spatial awareness almost as high as dolphins and bats. Their snout shape also lets them turn on a dime, which makes it so their attacks almost never miss. Furthermore, while they don't hunt together, they do travel in schools, providing safety in numbers and causing an intimidation debuff on pretty much the entire surrounding area. So that's the tier list for the Sharks. As you can see, they're an amazing class with a lot of useful abilities and strengths to play around with. They have only a few bad mashups like dolphins, orcas, and a few other top tier fish like swordfish and marlin.
I'm kind of shocked, because I used to laugh at this hammerhead thing. Yeah, I used to think like, bro, you're deformed. Like, you're not a shark, bro. You're some sort of fish. But it looks like these guys are bad guys. You know, they've got the abilities right there. But I don't know. Maybe other sharks like that. I wouldn't like that if I was a female shark. Yeah, it's just crazy, bro. I'm not even hammerhead. I guess you're cool, bro. But still, that great white shark would probably still beat him. But when he said 3D smell, I was just about to die. Like, 3D, bro, it's like the light skin of these sharks, you feel me? It needs 3D smell. You can't just smell normally, bro. Enough roasting these sharks. Yeah, that's the end of the video. If you made it this far, thank you and have a nice day.